Hello, my friends, hello, and welcome once again to Stately Vaughan Manor. And today, I'm going to be talking about my 100 favorite books project. Yes, I needed another project, so that's what I've got going on. I'm going to be starting the 100 books project, which I've spoken a little bit about already here and there. You might have seen a video I made, I think on the first of the year it came out, was my 100 favorite books, where I talk about my 100 favorite books. I'll link it below in case you're curious, and because, I don't want you to miss any of my fantastic videos. That would be awful. But it made me think about some things, and a couple things made me think about doing this project. One of those things was my ill-fated attempt at doing CriminOlly's 100 book challenge, his challenge where you will read 100 books before you buy where you read 100 books before you buy any new ones. And yeah, I failed miserably at that challenge, as I was probably fated to do. But, fate, that's what it was. That didn't work out. But I took on that challenge in the first place because I thought it was a good idea. At the time, it wasn't. But at the time, I thought it was a good idea because, I do buy more books than I need when you consider how many I have already got. And also, my ongoing thrilling video series, The Books That Time Forgot, where I'm going through all of my books in boxes. And I'm noticing between a lot of the books that I have in boxes and a lot of the books that I have up here and in other places throughout the manor that I've got a lot of duplicates. Excuse my groaning dog over there. She's just now getting comfortable. But I've got a lot of duplicates, and I've got a lot of books I really don't need. So I'm going to be doing a lot of unhauling in the future. And one of the things that I'm going to be having to do for a lot of the books that I have multiple copies of is just deciding on one copy. Just one copy of, one copy of Dune, or one copy of The Woman in White, things like that. I don't need multiple copies of these books. So I'm going to decide on one, and I want it to be a good one. And so I'm going to start with the my 100 favorite books. I'm going to decide in most cases, not all of them, in most cases, I'm going to decide on one edition that's going to be my edition of that book. And I want that edition to be the nicest I can get my hands on. And there is a question, well, what does that mean, the nicest edition? I've already talked about my nicest edition of I Am Legend. I'm already one video in on this series that I'm going to do, because of course I'm going to be doing a video on each book, because that'll get a ton of views. Everybody's going to be interested in that. I don't know, who cares? But I've already done one video on this book. This is the Folio Society edition of I Am Legend, one of my favorite books of all time. And this is the ultimate edition of this book. This is the only edition I really need of this book because it's so darn nice. So yeah, this is going to be my copy of I Am Legend, about the nicest copy of this book you could ever get. Folio Society editions are great because they're very well constructed, beautiful books that take great care in the artwork and the presentation. They're built to last if you take care of them. And they're just lovely editions. Probably the best editions of whatever books they're publishing that are available. But that doesn't mean I'm going to run out and get the Folio Society edition of every book on my 100 books list. For one thing, it would cost a fortune. And for the other thing, it won't always be the edition that I will want, that will be the nicest to me. It's not always going to be the most expensive edition, for example, although very often it probably is going to be, but it will be the edition that I think is the best for me. Now, there are going to be exceptions to this, like Sherlock Holmes. I'm going to keep more than one edition of Sherlock Holmes. I will probably keep 3 that I'm thinking of. Same goes for Dracula. I have the new annotated Dracula up here, which is fantastic and beautiful and wonderful. The only reason I would get another edition of Dracula is because with the annotations, it's a little busy. My OCD will force me to read every annotation, every note, linger over every illustration and everything in that book. I will linger over just because that's how my brain works. So I probably should get a less busy volume of Dracula. So I will have 2 really nice versions of Dracula. That is going to be a choice. I have to choose a really, really nice edition to Dracula to get. One of my very favorite books, so that'll be fun. I've already made the choice for the Three Musketeers, of course, and the choice I made on this one is this. This is the Eastern Press edition of the Three Musketeers by Dumas. One of my very favorite books, and it's a beautiful leather-bound, fancy pants edition. These are really, really well constructed, the Eastern Press books. They're beautiful. They feel very solid. And the text and the illustrations are usually really very good. For this edition, they reprinted, I think they reprinted the Limited Editions Club version that was published in 1950. The limited edition press, they came out with some really nice, really fancy editions of classic works in a limited edition. And later on, those editions were reprinted by the Heritage Club, which did some really nice books. And the Heritage Club was eventually bought out by the Eastern Press. This is all very exciting stuff. I know. I got a Heritage Press edition, for example, of The Woman in White, which I believe is probably the edition the Eastern Press does, with the illustrations from the Limited Editions Club, which this reprints just like the Eastern Press does. This is a really nice book. This edition was originally printed in '64 by the Limited Editions Club. This is a reprint of that, I believe. Really nice illustrations. The copy is beautiful. This is a very old edition, but it's really a beautiful one. So for The Woman in White, this is my copy, even though this is old. It's beautiful. Heritage Press, they weren't of the highest quality, I suppose, but they're pretty high quality when you consider, how long this book has been around. This one's been around from the 60s or early 70s at least, and it's still in wonderful shape. These guys tend to hold up pretty well, and so this will be my edition. It's not leather bound, but it's really wonderful, and I really, really like it. I like these Heritage editions a lot. So those are an easy way to go. There are some books that are so rare, like this one, T.E.D. Klein's Dark Gods, which is one of my very favorite books. This is the best I'm ever going to do, probably. I hear rumors that they are going to do a new edition of this, but I've been hearing that a long time. I'll believe it when I see it. I hope so. But this is the first edition, but it's a beat-up Viking first edition with a beat-up dust jacket. But again, this is probably the best I'll do on this book. I'm really glad to have it too, because man, this book is tough to get. A series of 4 horror novellas that is just really sought after because of their high quality. He didn't write much, T.E.D. Klein, but what he wrote was dynamite. So I'm happy to have this. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos once I choose my edition. And like I said, I've already chosen some, which will give me a chance to talk about the edition, of course, but also why it's one of my 100 favorite books, whatever the book is, and a little bit more about the book if I've talked about the book before, which I might have. And if I haven't, it'll give me a good chance to go into why I think it's so great. It'll be a thrilling, fantastic series. I know you await it with bated breath. So yeah, that's all I've got for you today. A new project. And some unhauling. And I'm going to have to figure out what to do with these extra editions. I feel some giveaways in the future. We'll see. Okay, guys. That's all I got for you today. But I will catch you next time. I'm hoping the Sunday Penguin will be up on Sunday. But since I'm going to be at the Rustic Von Lodge, who the heck knows? Okay, guys. I will see you next time.